Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. So today's tip has to do with outdoor lighting, more specifically, decorative lighting. I'm not talking about your solar lights to light your path or anything like that. I'm talking about the factor that when I was growing up, everybody always talked about how expensive their electric bill was in December because of Christmas lights, because people had the Christmas tree. And I mean, we didn't have the LEDs back then. So it was like, it cost a lot. But they had the Christmas tree and the outdoor lights and, those little plastic molded snowmen, Santa, reindeer things. So it was expensive. And then some people would have, you know, different colored lights. Some people would do like red or green or red and green in their house lights, like the lights that are like your porch light. Now it seems like there are lights for every holiday, and people change them constantly. So today, I actually really was struggling at work because this is the second time this has happened. For some reason, people like to put these like super flashy green lights in for St. Patty's Day. Now, mind you, it's past St. Patty's Day now. In my timeline, it's like March 26th. Well, technically like the 27th because it's 2:45 a.m. But we're well past St. Patty's Day. So I'll be trying to go up their driveway, and you've got these like lights just like flashing at you, and I have a couple of challenges. Mainly I'm neurodivergent with photophobia, which is not a fear of light, but actually an extreme light sensitivity, and I have challenges triggered by flashing lights. Lots of people do. People who have epilepsy, just a lot of things can happen because of flashing lights. So it can be very difficult for me. So I am like very, very much so notice this. Like the stupid businesses who have the strobe lights, like, dude, we know you're there. You don't need to put a strobe light in. I was never the club kid. I couldn't be. The sensory overwhelm and the lights and I just couldn't do it. My parents never had to worry about me going to a rave because I wouldn't have survived 5 minutes at a rave. Um, Not that I never got into trouble, but So that brings me to my point. When you are buying different colored lights for each holiday or each month or each season, that gets really expensive. I mean, you don't need a different, and I mean, I understand, like, I remember somebody was telling me, like, you want to put yellow lights in, like, a specific color yellow or something, I want to say, during the summer, and there's a purpose to that, and that is to deter mosquitoes or something like that. And so, like, something like that makes sense. Or, like, if it's because you don't want to bother the birds, which I'm sure migrating birds right now are going absolutely crazy with these stinking flashing lights. I mean, just right into buildings and falling down. I mean, it can't be good for them. And they're ugly. I'm sorry if you have them and you think they're great. I think that they're the ugliest thing. And maybe it's because, I have a severe medical reaction to the flashing lights. But I see people, I mean, everybody has all these light up, flashing light decorations year round. The flags and I'm not talking about like a light for an actual flag. I am talking the like patriotic flag in like Christmas lights. I'm talking the constant light pollution. Um, and the constant need. I mean, all these floodlights. I mean, like right now, I'm looking out my window and I have a neighbor who's got their floodlight is on again because every time an animal goes by or anything, like a leaf blows the wrong way, those go on. My neighbor who's directly across the street, or across the lake rather, I talked to them and explained the situation. They were really nice. They changed the settings, turned on the sensitivity, because we have all sorts of critters here. We have like raccoons and muskrats and otters, and I've even seen bobcats in my neighborhood, feral cats and turtles and egrets and all sorts of things. So these floodlights that are on whatever get triggered, and like some people have them. Like I have a neighbor who's got floodlights three lots down from me, that when I pull in my driveway and get out of my car, the lights go on. I'm like, that's a little too sensitive. Like that your light notices me getting out of my car in my driveway 3 lots away. Like, not. So you're paying for the light initially. You're paying for the electricity to power that light every month. And it's just it's you don't need them. You don't need decorative flashing lights. Whatever happened to simple? I mean, everything doesn't always have to be a look at me, I'm so special, look at my house, look at my this, look at my that. We can just lead happy, simple lives. And I'm sorry, but the flashing lights one, that is a hill I will die on. If you think that it somehow is like a decorative choice or a good choice in any way, I can name a number of things. It's not minimalistic. It's definitely not like environmentally friendly. It's not friendly to your neighbors. It's not friendly to people who drive by. You could have a child in a car whose parent drives by your house on the way to, wherever, who has a seizure because of your lights. Worse yet, you could have a epileptic driver who thought they were well controlled until they're triggered by your flashing lights driving down your street. I don't know, maybe the pizza delivery boy. Maybe he didn't even know he was epileptic and has a seizure and ends up in a major car accident and is paralyzed, or runs over the neighbor kid because they are having a seizure and can't control it because of your lights. So one, it's just something that I personally believe in society we need to get rid of all the strobe lights and flashing lights and all of that. And I'm not even talking like the flicker. Like the flicker ones sometimes bother me just because flicker in general, I mean, like I can see the flicker in fluorescent lights, and if your LED lights are wrong, I can see the flicker, and flicker can be really stinking annoying. And you can ask anybody who can see flicker. It can be incredibly irritating, but it also can, when you're as annoying as the flicker can be, and the flicker actually does aggravate multiple things medically for me as well, but when you're hitting like that strobe point of flashing lights and you think that that's a good choice, it's not, because it's dangerous. It's dangerous to others. And I mean, if I had tripped and fallen tonight, you better damn well believe if I'd broken my leg, I was suing them, because they had cracks in their sidewalk and like all their stones were unlevel. They had like rocks thrown throughout for like the little pebbles that I could have slipped and fallen on. And the whole time I'm having to like walk like this because I have the lights flashing. So I can't even see, because it's that much of a danger to me. And they have tripping hazards and everything else. And that's one of those things. And I'm not one who's like, oh, I'm not, I've let a lot of things go, but I feel like the light thing, that's just like, you are literally going out of your way to spend money and harm people and harm the environment and harm harm nature and harm creatures and create light pollution. I mean, like, it's just so bad on so many levels, and it's such a waste of money. So, this is my absolutely selfish frugal tip. Probably the most selfish frugal tip I have ever given, because if I could ban those stinking lights, I 100% would. If I could ban any of like your strobe lights and flashing lights and stuff like that. I mean, like, even I have to warn. I got pulled over by a police officer, and I had to warn them because I have to go like that when their lights are flashing. And then, I've got the hand issues. Luckily, the last cop who pulled me over, he was so nice. And I'm like, I can't get my license out. And I'm like, I'm not, crazy. The flashing lights and there's too much. And so he was really nice, because the thing is that my particular medical condition could really, really, really be aggravated and create some really, really, really bad situations. So, I'm terrified of getting pulled over and stuff too, because even like a cop's flashing lights, ambulance is tough on me. And so that's hard enough to begin with. But then if you add like people who think it's fun to have them decoratively, it's for some of us, it's really hard, and it's really, really mean, and you're wasting your money. And I'm telling you, like, I don't know anybody who's like, wow, look at those lights. I love how those lights shine in my living room. I love how those lights like flash and create things. I love how I had to talk to my other neighbor because he had one of those stupid spinny light things at Christmas, and he's like, "Oh, I'll get it tomorrow." I'm like, "I have to work tomorrow. I need to go to sleep. I can't sleep because your lights are shining in my window and rotating around. So you can turn it off or you can go out and fix it, but I cannot have that in my window." And he's like, "But the window, fix it now. That is your option." Because your light should not invade other people. Like, your light and the flashing lights, they're just so disruptive and horrible and expensive. So today's frugal tip is an incredibly selfish one. Get rid of the stupid stinking flashing lights. Just choose a color light. And like some of them look pretty and don't flash. Like I saw one lady, and it was beautiful. She had all sorts of lights, and she did them in pastel colors. It was very like Easter eggish. Absolutely gorgeous. And I mean, she can probably afford it. She's in like a $3 million home. But as beautiful as they were, that still is an expense that you can afford not to do. So think about how your decorative lighting, I mean, and again, like I have solar lights all along my deck that are dimmer, and such. So it's not that I'm saying get rid of all lighting. I'm saying like don't change your lighting every month. I mean, you don't need new lights, and you don't need all sorts of special things that flash. I mean, it's March. Put away your Christmas lights. It's time for your Christmas lights to be put away. We've had warm enough days to take them down. Put them away. Christmas is over. January 6th has passed. If you are, I can't remember, I think Serbian Orthodox celebrates Christmas like 2 weeks after us. That's also passed. Christmas is over. We don't need holiday lights for every holiday. You don't need to put up 72 blinky, flashy lights for St. Patty's Day or 4th of July or Memorial Day or any of it. We can go back to being simple, because honestly, those lights don't do anything. I mean, they cost you money and nobody is impressed by them. And it's just consumerism at its finest and capitalism at its finest. And you're just lining some billionaires' pockets. You're not You're not doing anything better for yourself. And yeah, so that's it. Please don't hate me. If you do, well, I'm sorry. I guess some people don't agree, and that's fine. You can like them all you want. They're ugly. And they're a waste of money. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa. This year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.